So how long you been doing the camp?
That's my 5th year. I've been doing it since 2016. Last year, obviously, COVID, we couldn't do it, but so our 5th annual, and it gets bigger every year. Obviously, we can't have as many kids this year with COVID and COVID precautions in the late start to camp and also the early start to school. But we got a great group of kids here, a great number, and obviously, we keep giving back, we keep helping kids, catch their dreams, teach them, the fundamentals of basketball, also life. So, it's definitely a blessing that me and my team can get back every summer.
So you said this the 5th one. What made you want to stop?
Just always going to camp growing up. Always wanted to have my own, something I've always dreamed of. I went to every camp growing up in this area, like Walt Webb Camp, Lou Wilson Camp, the Math of Mike Jones. I went to Morgan Wooten Camp. I went to Southern Camp, St. John's Camp. I did so many camps, man, and just always wanted to have my own.
What skills did you learn in camp that you actually say you utilize in the NBA?
Everything. I learned how to, really practice on my own. Growing up, like I always thought practicing was playing one-on-one with somebody, just playing 5-on-5. But when I went to camp, I would get drills every different camp, and I would go home and literally practice, go to the park practicing. I met new friends, and I would measure my game. Like if I was the best of my school or the best of my KLM team, county team, AU team, whatever. When I went to camp, I got to see other kids from other different areas of Maryland, other different areas of the East Coast, and I would measure my skills against those different players, and I would see like, wow, I can compete with the best of the best. So camps really gave me my confidence to kind of grow into a basketball player.
Okay, so what's my question? So as far as like you all compete in like AAU tournaments and stuff like that?
Did I do AAU growing up? Yeah, I played AAU. I went to camp, I did county, played AAU. I started playing AAU at 8 years old. So we started to travel, got to see the best players from Memphis, California, Texas. One of my best friends who I met at AAU, he's in here. We started when we were 8, and a lot of guys that I play against in the NBA now, I've been playing them since we were 8, 9, 10, 11. So I think that's the beauty of basketball. It just brings so many people together. You meet so many different people from different walks of life, and we have that one common love, and that takes you all around the world.
Say, what's the I think basketball builds community, like with kids in the area not having a lot of resources. I would say, what's some things that you think that what's some things that you learned through camp, like teamwork, things of that nature?
I think the biggest thing with me, my coaches were always taught teamwork. I never was a selfish player. I never played with selfish players growing up. I think the best thing for me was like sportsmanship, just being a good sport. When I used to lose when I was young, even camps, like when I used to lose, I'd throw a fit, I had an attitude, or even if I didn't play well, I could have won, but if I didn't play well, I'd be hard on myself, stuff like that. So just being a good sport, I learned that through camps, a lot of, especially the Madden camp, Mike Jones, he taught me a lot more about life at a young age, even before I went to the Madden and played for him. His camp was all about just coming together, really big first. Getting that at 4th and 5th grade, 4th and 5th grade, that goes a long way. So I was getting that at 10 years old. So I know Mike Jones was really big for me in that.
Okay, so I got one question. How much would you say attitude goes into the sport that you're playing, or anything that anybody's doing that takes hard work? How much would you say attitude goes into it?
I think attitude is a majority of it. I think the mental, I always say 60, for me, I say 70% mental and 30% is athleticism and everything with basketball. Because there's so much that we go through, the NBA, overseas, college, high school, AAU, even kids, like kids, especially with social media today and everything, pandemic, coronavirus, now we learning from homes. It's a lot that people are going through. So you never know how someone is taking things mentally. And obviously basketball is an escape. I've been through a lot of my life. Anytime I go through anything, the hour and 2 hours I was playing basketball, I forgot about everything. So it was my escape. But I always have to change your attitude, like I said, about being a good sport. So for me, I lived it. Like there's footage of me when I was at Duke, my body language is bad. So it's not just I'm preaching it because I made it and blah blah blah. It's a cliche. Like literally, I'm a walking testimony. My body language was worse than any kid in this camp. All 200 kids, my body language was by far worse than any kid. And I can see myself in a lot of these kids when they lose, they'll cry, they'll come to me crying, they'll say that, you know how it is, like they might not be getting the ball, stuff like that. And I was just like them, so I see myself in them. So it hits home for me. But I think that's the biggest thing, at least attitude is, just having a good attitude about anything. And obviously, tools you take from basketball camp, from basketball team, practice, games, whatever, you can use in real life, in school, getting a job, being a parent, everything. So I think that just basketball, the principles that you learn, you become a better human being.
Last two questions. First one is, how was that championship with the Lakers? How does it feel winning that championship?
It was fun. I mean, obviously, it was a crazy year, man. We got caught up in China over there when stuff wasn't great, with our relationship because of tweet. So that was crazy how we started the season. Obviously, Kobe, was tragic, passing Kobe and Gigi. So, I mean, obviously the world dealt with it. Obviously, it was hurt by it, but we were directly in it. And we were dealing with, obviously, the place that he called home. This past 22 years, the Lakers, his trainer, his security, his best friend, were all part of our franchise. So we were directly in it. And we all had a great relationship with him. And then obviously being probably the best team in the league at the time, our season getting shut down because of Corona, not knowing if we was going to have a season and going to the bubble, being that sacrifice, I mean, we live a nice life. I mean, guys have mansions, guys drive cars, we live a great life. So for us to be taken away from, our habitat, be in a hotel, probably 500 square feet, just a whole different atmosphere, man. And Ron said it from day one, the most sacrificed team is going to win it. The team who wants it the most, who wants to sacrifice the most, is going to win it. Man, we were tight. We stayed the course. We were there 96 days, and we ended up winning it. Obviously, it wasn't like, when you win a championship outside the bubble, you can go party, and you can have your whole family there in town, stuff like that. But it was still cool, won a championship, and we got a bond forever.
Last question is, what advice would you give to any upcoming kids in general?
Yeah, just live, man. You got one life. Try to accomplish as much as you can. Don't be afraid to fail. Have dreams, have aspirations, but don't just have them. Write you a plan that you can amount to it. If you want to be a doctor, you got to get good at school. You got to this and that. If you want to be an NFL player or a WNBA player, you got to have tools. You got to have recipes to get to it. It's not just going to happen overnight. Just have fun with it. Have whatever you want to have fun with it. People won't doubt you. Go ahead and make sense, but if you believe in yourself, you got to do something really good.
I'm good, unless you got anything else to say.
Yeah. Appreciate you.